Hi, my name is Heather Thorstensen. I'm the Manager of Communications for Sigma Xi, the Scientific Research Society. Sigma Xi is getting ready for our 2015 Student Research Showcase. It's going to be March 23rd through 29th this year. It is an online research presentation competition, and undergraduate, graduate, and high school students can participate. The deadline to be registered and to submit your presentations this year is March 16th. And today I'm talking with Kathryn Peiman, who was last year's Student Research Showcase Graduate Division winner. And we're going to be catching up with her about her research and also get her advice for students who want to participate in this year's showcase. Kathryn, thanks for joining me on the call.
Thanks for having me.
Can you start by explaining a little bit about your research presentation that you submitted last year?
Sure. When I put mine together, it was one of the first times I had really sat back and kind of saw how all the parts kind of made a whole story. And that was actually really exciting for me because when you're working on a thesis or a dissertation, you're often looking at little tiny microcosms of what you're doing. And when you stand back and look at the big picture, it's actually quite rewarding to kind of see how it's all coming together. And specifically, I look at competition in birds, and so I got to sit down and actually look at my separate chapters and how they kind of made now one complete story and had a chance to summarize that.
And when you were putting your presentation together, what was involved in the process for you?
Going through a lot of pictures, this is obviously a very visual medium to present in, and so I had to get material together, both pictures and videos that I had taken in the field. And I know from talking to other people that you often forget to actually record what you're doing while you're doing it to show future people what you did. So one of the tricks is to remember to actually take photos or videos, especially of you doing these things, just to show other people what you're actually doing. So there's that aspect to it, and then, of course, creating it, making it flow together, and then adding my own audio to narrate it as well.
So you put together a video, and you hosted that video on a Tumblr page. Did you have to, did you already have a camera? Did you have to go out and buy one?
No, I just used, a little video camera that I had, and I set it up and recorded. I did it a bunch of times until I got something I was happy with. Most people now, even the computers, they all have cameras on them. They're pretty easy to do that type of thing, and the society had really good instructions about how to make a Tumblr page and all that sort of thing. There's a lot of good, free, easy software to create these types of things. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. Your presentation also involved a slideshow. Did you already have that put together, or is that something that you created just for the showcase?
I had it somewhat put together, but I definitely expanded on it and added new material for the showcase. I had done a small presentation already, and so this was adding new material that I was basically getting results at the same time I was trying to put together. So it was, again, nice to see how it all fit together and put the new results in as well. And I used PowerPoint, which is a really easy, straightforward software to make these types of presentations.
In your intro video, what were the main points that you wanted to make sure you got across?
My goal in the intro video was to kind of put it in a much bigger picture. The slideshow and stuff, that's for the details. The intro I was viewing as kind of showing people why I was excited about what I was doing. So it's me talking and hopefully conveying that I was actually really excited to do this and that I think it's the coolest thing in the world, and trying to convey that to people. And also, the technical slideshow and stuff like that, that's cool, that's interesting, but when you're talking about it to especially a very general audience, one of my goals was to kind of link it to something they might have experienced before, link it to things that they can see on a day-to-day basis, and they don't have to go to my specific study site in the Bahamas and see this bird to be able to actually understand what it is that I'm interested in. So the ending to my video, I was trying to just say, hey, these things are happening all the time. You can go outside, and when you see two animals together, these are the types of questions I'm doing. It's relevant to kind of all things.
And obviously it's going to be different for everybody, but how long did it take for you to put your presentation site together?
I would have to say it took me the better part of a weekend, considering that I already had some of the material together, and then others I was recording the personal video. And one of the problems with PowerPoint is that you can kind of always add more things, and so at some point you just have to say, enough, it's done. Um, it's better usually if you have more time, because then you get more feedback from other people and you can show it to friends, family, lab members, and get more feedback that way. And so that the amount of time is better spread out over more days if possible.
What did you think during the showcase about the type or the amount of feedback that you got from judges?
That was actually one of the coolest things about this, is that I got a lot of really good feedback. Some of it was things that I had forgotten to include, that was, you know, my bad kind of thing. Other ones were things that I've been thinking about, and it was great to just have a discussion with the judges about, you know, yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. You know, maybe they have some ideas, and so it was more of a back and forth, and it was really nice to have all those people reading and thinking about what I was doing and providing feedback on that I can use both when I am writing this in papers and for future presentations as well.
What do you think is, what advice would you give to some students who are thinking about participating in the showcase this year?
Do it. It's a really good experience. Not only is it something nice to, of course, have in your CV, but just the practice to be able to think about your project both on a small and large scale, to present it in what are really three quite different mediums. The personal video is something that, as a scientist, you don't get a chance to do that type of thing that often. And social media is so important nowadays that those types of interactions are going to become even more and more important. The abstract, just practicing writing and conveying the important points, and then the technical slideshow, that's usually how we present things at conferences, lab meetings, all these things. So all of these methods of communicating are really, really important, and so it's really great practice, and there's no reason not to do it, basically.
What was the main driver for you to decide to do it last year?
Uh, 2 years ago, I was a judge for the research showcase. I didn't feel I had enough data at that point to do a proper presentation, but I really was curious about this kind of new format here, this virtual research showcase. And so I was a judge, and I just thought this was really, really cool. I mean, you don't have to travel to a conference, you know, you're kind of doing things in your own time, so it removes all these constraints we usually have when we go to conferences. And so I was a judge, I saw a whole bunch of really cool presentations, and as soon as I did that, I knew I was going to do it the following year. I did it, of course, and it was just really, really cool experience.
Great. Can you give us an update about how your research is going?
Yeah, it's going well. I graduated in December, so I finished and now have my PhD. And that, I have to say that the research showcase, the timing of it for me was probably the first time I had really sort of see the big picture, and I just took that and basically built on that, and finished up my dissertation in the fall, and currently getting ready to publish my chapters. So it's going really, really well right now.
Great, well, thank you. And any students who are interested in participating in the showcase can get more information on Sigma Xi's website, and that website is listed under my name, www.sigmaxi.org/student-research-showcase. Kathryn, thank you for speaking with us.
Thanks for having me.